How many times have you told yourself, I'll start Monday, or I'll start in the new year? What is our obsession with having a date on the calendar where we start the things that we're most impressed to do with our lives? Personally, I think it's because we want to procrastinate the hard things. You can enjoy another few days or weeks of putting it off, and you can still tell everybody that you're going to do this thing and look pretty good. So I'm here to encourage you to start where you are. Why wait? One thing that I've seen hold people back is that they want to start too many things at once, especially with New Year's resolutions. I've heard it takes something like 22 days to create a habit. So that means don't try going back to the gym, taking cold showers, eating right, and staying in communication with your family more, all within the same day. The likely outcome of all that is that you're gonna give up on all of them. Instead, take one at a time and allow yourself to add them on every month or so. Don't get me wrong, there's something really valuable about having the big picture and knowing exactly where you want to end up. Brainstorming and putting all the puzzle pieces of how you're going to get there out onto a piece of paper and deciding which things have to go in what order will help you with figuring out how much time you're going to need to accomplish those goals. You want to be able to see that end result, but you don't want to be so attached to that end result that it will discourage you because you're nowhere near it. Another consideration for making a goal that you will likely find success in is to make a goal that doesn't require perfection. An example of my own life, telling yourself that you're never going to have another carb in your life is probably a bit extreme. But if you tell yourself that you can have carbs for special occasions or for holidays or something like that, you will end up healthier because you're able to be carbless more days than not, and that was way better than where you were when you started it. When you know each piece of the puzzle and what order they're going to come in, when you've achieved the last one, it will build momentum for you to achieve the next, and it will become a snowball effect. I've done a lot of grand things that were ultimately less impactful than I imagined they would be from the beginning, because I thought that that was the thing that might get me to the end result. And when we have those sorts of hang-ups, we can get really discouraged. An example was when I decided to put every trade that I took onto social media each day. I did that for 4 months in 2023, and that didn't really help me in the way that I was anticipating. I didn't become profitable just because I was focusing harder on my trades. It was more to do with the fact that what I was trading wasn't actually in play then, and I didn't realize it at the time. So not everything we decide to put our energy into is going to help us achieve those goals, but sometimes we have to eliminate things through that idea that we came up with in order to show ourselves that we need to actually make a change or find a different route. Anytime we have a problem that we haven't faced before or a goal that we haven't achieved before, we're going to have to take stabs in the dark, and that's okay. But each and every step does give us information that we can use in achieving that goal. The trouble with trading, and you've heard me say this before, is that nobody is standing beside us giving us the clue and the path and the next step. And that can be tough because we're in our own heads about it, and we may just see that we haven't achieved our goal as so deflating that we don't even know how to take a next step. We ultimately have to be the best version of ourselves, but we cannot possibly know what that will look like when we set out to begin that journey. All we can do is identify one small tweak at a time, trial and error at its finest. I saw a video of a teacher that was teaching his students about goal making. He put pieces of paper on the floor across the room in a line. They had a couple little spaces in between, and he said, okay, now hop on each of these all the way across the room, and you can't touch the floor. And the first time everybody was successful, but he started to take away pieces of paper until it was impossible to be successful at crossing the room with how big the gap was. The point of that is that we need to make small enough steps in our goals so that we can actually get to the next one successfully. Fear of the work is one of the greatest things holding us back as humans and as traders. When we look at the work as one giant elephant that we're going to have to eat, it may feel impossible. But if we break it down and realize, hey, we just need to take a bite at a time to achieve that goal, it can feel possible again. So do some brainstorming about topics in this space that you struggle with still. Do some research, fill in the gaps for yourself. Start today with something small. Solve a problem that you've been putting off fixing. And don't wait to make it your New Year's resolution.